Hey guys, it's Gwen, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 20 things I learned at 20. I already turned 21 this past April 14th. So I thought it would be a fun idea to share 20 things that I learned at 20. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that I learned is that you won't have everything figured out and you're not supposed to. The first thing I learned at 20 is that you won't have everything figured out and you're not supposed to. If you're anything like me, you would have started college and would have had to pick a major. So I started community college at community college as a business major, but I did end up switching to English because I thought that was more something I was interested in. And after high school, everyone is on different paths. Some are in college and some go directly into the workforce. Try not to compare yourself to others too much and focus on yourself. It's okay if it takes you extra time to graduate or to accomplish certain milestones. Another thing I learned is that the people that you thought would stay forever sometimes don't. Friendships are hard to maintain, especially after high school. Since you aren't seeing the same people every day, you'll probably start to drift from your high school friends. That's okay though, since you will probably make new friends in college. But if you want to stay in touch with your high school friends, you can still text them to hang out. And the people you didn't expect can become everything. Sometimes there's unexpected people who come into your life and change it for the better. Another thing that I learned at 20 is that rest is not a reward, it's a necessity. Everyone needs to sleep and rest, and getting the proper sleep of at least 8 hours a night will make you more productive. Make sure to take time for yourself in your busy schedule because everyone deserves to have a good night's sleep and enough rest. Resting can also mean taking a break from work and having self-care days. Another thing I learned is that being busy doesn't always mean you're moving forward. In my opinion, busyness is overrated, and you should focus on being productive instead of just busy. This means blocking out your time so you have time for work, to work, go to school, sleep, and study. In addition, you can save time for yourself just to rest, relax, and do any hobbies that you're interested in, or just consume your favorite media like watching TV. Another thing I learned at 20 is that you can outgrow versions of yourself, and that's a good thing. You're probably not the person you were at 15, 16, 17, 18, or even 19, and that's okay. I know for sure that I'm not the same person I was last year and have so much to learn. Another thing that I learned at 20 is that not every opportunity is meant for you. It's okay if something isn't meant for you, even if everyone else is doing it. For example, some people like working 9-to-5 jobs, but others prefer to do more freelance work that is more unpredictable, but can be more flexible in one's schedule than the typical 9-to-5 job. Another thing I learned is that saying no is a form of self-respect. It's okay to say no sometimes, and you shouldn't feel pressure to say yes to everything. Even if you're like me and are a bit of a people pleaser, saying no is an important part to learn about growing up. Another thing I learned is that confidence isn't constant, it's something you build slowly. So confidence is something that is built over time. Some days you will feel confident and other days you will not, and that's okay. I know I'm not the most confident person, but that's something I'm working on. Another thing I learned is that you're allowed to change your mind about your future. It's okay to change your mind about the future, whether it's your major or what career path to take. It's okay to take a little more time to figure out what you want to do. Another thing I learned is that comparison will steal joy faster than failure ever will. It's true what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. This quote was originally said by Theodore Roosevelt, and it's so relevant today. Try not to compare yourself to others because even though they might seem like they have everything going right for them, you may not know what's going on behind the scenes, and they could be struggling just as much as you are. So try not to compare your life to others that you see around you, especially those that are the same age as you. I know this is hard, but keep in mind that everyone is on a different path, so try not to compare yourself too much to others. Another thing that I learned is that some lessons only make sense after you've lived them. Sometimes, like, someone just telling you something won't really resonate with you. You have to experience it yourself in order to learn a certain lesson. Like, sometimes you have to experience a certain job or a certain experience, like with a friendship, to know like what you want out of your life. And even though someone might give you good advice on paper, like, you have to trust your instincts and follow what you truly think is the right thing to do. Another thing I learned is that your worth isn't tied to productivity. So productivity is a good thing, obviously, working and being productive, but that isn't tied to your worth. You still have worth outside of productivity, and just remember that you're not your job or even your major or anything that you do, and you're worth more than that. Like, just being a person and existing is enough, and you shouldn't tie your worth to external factors. Another thing, I learned that it's okay to be a beginner at anything at any time. So everyone starts from somewhere. So of course, in the beginning, you're going to be a beginner. But don't let that discourage you, because everyone has to start out from somewhere. Even the most talented and accomplished people started out from nothing. So just keep that in mind. Another thing I learned is that the right people will make you feel safe, not confused. So meeting the right people is really hard, especially when it comes to friendships and dating. But just remember that the right people will make you feel safe and comfortable to be around, and they won't make you constantly question and second guess yourself, because they'll be there for you through the good times and the bad times. Another thing I learned is that growth can feel lonely, but it's not emptiness, it's a transition. So growth is something that's also slow and it happens over time, and it's not something that you can rush. So don't try to rush your growth in anything, whether it's your career or your education or your friendships. You should take things one day at a time, and it's about progress, not perfection. So you might not see the results you want right away, but over time, if you work at something, you can accomplish what you always wanted to. As long as you stay consistent and you keep your mind at it, you can accomplish a lot of things, even though it won't happen overnight. Another thing I learned is that you don't need to have a dream job to have a meaningful life. I know a lot of people grow up and like they have like a dream job that they want to do, or people always ask when you're growing up, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? But it's okay to have that change over time, especially with the economic climate right now. It's like been hard for people to find a job. So just, you shouldn't worry that much about having a dream job, because you shouldn't tie your worth to just your work. And of course, you should take pride in your work and do something that you enjoy. But just remember that dream jobs are not always all they're cracked up to be, and work is just that, it's just work. Another thing that I learned is that healing isn't linear. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. It can happen slowly over time. And you can go backwards sometimes when in your healing process, but that's okay as long as you're focused on your goals. Healing is something that will take one day at a time, especially if you're healing something like addictions, or if you're struggling with something. Just remember that you should take it one day at a time. The next thing that I learned is that you are more resilient than you think. A lot of people, they don't really have confidence in themselves, myself included, but just remember that you're more resilient than you think, and you've made it this far because of how resilient and strong you are, and to just have faith in yourself even if no one else does, because you of course are the only one who is yourself. Okay, the last thing I learned at 20 is that life opens up in unexpected ways and you stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to control everything around you, because things happen for a reason, even though it might not seem like it at first. You should just trust the process, and you should keep striving towards your goals, but just remember that it might not happen in the timeline that you expect it to. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below what are some things that you learned at whatever age you are. And yeah, I hope to see you guys very soon. Make sure to subscribe, and yeah, let me know what videos you want me to see me do in the future. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today's video, so I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.